do your part.
Yeah, I mean, everybody on the team felt that, it's tradition at Linganore to produce winning seasons, and it was in our reach, and we just had to go grab it.
Davon, did you have to answer the challenge after the other teams won the state titles?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We felt that we needed to do that as well. So,
before we dive into the game last week, we are taking questions. So if anyone has a question for Coach Connor, for Ryan, for Davon, feel free to send it along on Facebook, and we will try and pose it to them. But, Rick, you've been doing this for a long time. I don't mean to make you sound old, but how long you've been doing this now?
This is my 32nd year coaching high school football in Frederick County. I started at Brunswick, moved to Thomas Johnson with Ben Wright. And I started at Brunswick with Kevin Riley, who's a great coach, still a good friend of mine. Then Ben Wright at TJ, one of my best friends. Worked with Dave Crothers at Urbana High School, had an incredible run. Dave was great to work for. Then I kept working my way closer to Mount Airy and went to Linganore High School. And this is 16 years at Linganore, and I just feel very fortunate and blessed to work in such a wonderful school with wonderful teachers and students and the community we live in.
So 30-plus years, 16 at Linganore. Was this the greatest game you've ever been a part of?
On this stage, I'm going to say yes. I got to say it was so much fun. It was thrilling. And to be honest with you, I don't know why there was such a calm about our team on that Thursday night when there really, in a lot of cases, it wouldn't have been as calm. And we were kind of knew we were going to get our opportunities even though things didn't look good. We scored our first touchdown with 40 seconds to go in the half. But we knew it was within reach, and we just had to stay together. And this team's been through some tough situations, some adversity. So it wasn't the first time that we've been behind and needed to play with our backs against the wall. And it was great to see our kids come through, to keep their composure, to be mentally tough, emotionally tough. So it was everything you wanted in a great football game.
Ryan, you played a lot of games. Was that the greatest game you've played?
It was definitely the most exciting one. And it's up there with the greats.
And Davon, you scored the game-winning touchdown. 14 seconds left in that game. You said it was the #1 play in your life. What sort of emotions were going through you after you scored and as that game came to a close with you guys on top?
It was crazy. It was really crazy, and I just liked the way that score came out. So.
What was the celebration like, guys? What was going through your head after you won that game, Ryan?
It was a lot of excitement. The whole team was excited. A lot of hugging, a lot of, everything we worked for paid off. We got where we wanted to go. Through the ups and downs, we pulled it off.
And Rick, I remember walking off the field with you at Oakdale High School. You guys had just lost your second straight game. Now you lost to two very fine football teams in Walkersville and Oakdale.
Correct.
But you told me at the time that you said we're not a very good football team right now. But you also said, but we're going to fix it.
That's a quote, and I felt like we were missing on some situations and situational play. We maybe had to tweak a little bit. We traded a couple guys on the offensive line to defensive line and defensive line to offensive line. We started focusing on a couple kids that have really we felt we're going to hang our hats on, and that one was Joe Kolick for sure. But we also felt like after that loss, we were 4-2, and probably a lot of people didn't give us a big shot at coming around and being as successful as we wanted or as successful as they anticipated us being. But we really didn't care what they thought. We knew that everything we wanted was still on the table, and we just had to go back to work. And there was no shortcut. There was no easy way to do it.
Injuries were piling up for you too.
We had some boo-boos, and it was unfortunate. But we just next guy up. We coach a lot of kids at a lot of different positions, and so we weren't really concerned. As much as we wanted to be healthy, you had to play the cards you're dealt, and if a kid's hurt and he can't play, obviously that takes precedence over playing. So we just focused on our task ahead, 1 week at a time. I think the next week we played Kennedy High School, and we told our guys they're the best football team on our schedule this week. And then we was going to go Middletown and Tuscarora and Urbana, and hopefully at the end of 10 we were going to get a chance to play week 11, which we did. The goal was to be the #1 seed. That didn't happen, so we knew if we won week one of the playoffs, we'd have to go travel. But we knew if we won week 2 in the playoffs, we were going to come back home and play a home playoff game, which is, if you've ever been to Linganore High School for a home playoff game, it is an exciting atmosphere. It's a wonderful place to play and an advantage to us, and we got to do that. And obviously, we got to play in the 4th game of the playoffs at Navy.
Davon, what has the last week been like since you guys won that game?
It's been really good. You know, a lot of teachers congratulating me and us on our achievement, and it's just been really nice.
What was that like out of a dream for you, scoring the game-winning touchdown in a state championship game?
It's definitely a dream come true. You know, you don't really expect those kind of things to happen in a state championship game, and it happened. So,
Ryan, what has the last week been like for you?
Same thing. A lot of teachers been congratulating us, and a lot of students that you wouldn't really expect to talk to you or anything like that have been coming up to you and really showing a lot of support.
Now, Coach, you were tasked with closing down the gym, closing down the school after you guys got back from Annapolis on Thursday night.
Yes.
And that you woke up, as you always do. You and the paper boy have a conversation every morning, I think.
Got to read your article, which, by the way, was outstanding, and got that around 4:30.
Appreciate that, but then you were in the gym and you said you got a reaction when you walked in the gym that morning.
Walked into our local gym in Mount Airy Health Limited, and as I walked in, everybody started clapping, so it was pretty cool. Around town, you know, I go to a lot of little places in Mount Airy, and everybody's been very complimentary of these guys, our team, which is awesome. You know, I ask these guys, you know, at the end of 48 minutes, I just want to be proud of how you perform, how you play, how you conduct yourself. You know, don't worry about winning or losing. We just want to be proud. And not only was I proud, but it looks like our town was proud, our community was proud. So I'm just getting a lot of compliments, and it really makes you feel good and satisfied inside, because I knew these guys were good kids already. I knew they were outstanding young people. We have an amazing senior class. They're highly intelligent. We have some great leaders. Then at 19, and that's not a large number for us. And what makes it so rewarding for as a coach is that these 19 kids hung in there with us all through 4 years. They didn't come in as one of those herald classes where you said, man, Linganore's got a great class coming in. You know, we thought they'd be good. I think they lost 3 games their freshman year as freshmen, which is a lot for us. But they kept building. They hung in there, and look where we finished. And it's just a real tribute to the hard work and everything, dedication, the commitment, the academic excellence. This is one of the smartest groups I've ever coached.
Were you surprised to get the standing ovation at the gym that morning?
Oh, yeah, I was. I didn't think, you know, those guys, you know, I was pretty sure they went to bed early and they might have missed it, but I guess it was on TV and a lot of people got to watch it. And, you know, I was in Weiss this weekend, and a lady stopped me. Her kids all go to South Carolina, and she goes, congratulations, Coach. My husband's at the gym. He was glued to the TV watching your team play, and it was it's very rewarding to hear those compliments and that type of feedback from the people in the community, the people who you live with.
Yeah, and how'd you get your workout in? I'm sure you were stopped. You were getting stopped constantly to talk to people.
I got a few rest periods in there and some chit chats. They wouldn't know about the 4th down play, the winning touchdown play, the sack. A lot of things. So and they wouldn't know why we didn't stop them in the 4th quarter too. So there were some not so fun questions, but it was it was a dream come true. It's been a blast.
So let's talk about this game now. You're facing Milford Mill, a team that had won 12 games in a row. They were 12-1 coming into this game. You had a couple of common opponents. Right. They had lost to Tuscarora, a team that you beat in their very first game of the season. You'd also played Edgewood. You'd both beaten Edgewood. What were you expecting from Milford Mill coming into the game?
You know, the more we watched them, the more we were impressed with them. To be honest with you, we you know, immediately when we started breaking down the film, they had some guys that can run. Okay, they got the 2 kids in the back.
Devon Shell.
And number 6.
That's Shell.
The
yeah.
primary back was number 3. It looked like in our scouting, but number 6 was the one we were. You said, "Daggone, I hope they don't give him the ball a whole lot." Well, they figured that out too. He was the most dynamic of the 2. And had the wide receiver going to Virginia. The quarterback he's going to be a cornerback playing in Division I football somewhere in North Carolina. So the speed jumps out at you. But really, the more we watch them, their line of scrimmage was coached very well. They had a lot of good schemes against our fronts. And as the week progressed, we knew we had our hands were full with a very, very outstanding football team that we had to play against.
And the game started very poorly for you guys. I mean, had you ever seen anything like that first touchdown they scored, where a kid is basically hemmed in, he comes all the way back across the field, this is Devon Shell we're talking about, and scores the touchdown?
In 4th grade football, yes, that's what happens. The kid goes.
You don't
left,
see it in high. You don't see it in high school, though.
No, not very often. Everybody stays home. Everybody plays. You know, our guys did their job. Counter, cutback, reverse. We kind of thought we were where we needed to be, but you just can't prepare for that type of speed. And he made a great run. He's a great athlete. He's a junior too, so he'll
could see him next year, right?
Could have to deal with him again, but and he picked up a couple good blocks. So I thought as the game went on, we adjusted our speed a little better. But hats off to he made a great play.
And the score got to be 19-0. I mean,
19-0. It was not didn't look real good.
Right, and I think after the kickoff, after you guys had fallen down 19-0, Joey Felton, one of your great wide receivers, one of your breakout players of the season, your top receiver, gets hurt.
Well, kickoff return, he rolled his ankle, and we thought maybe we would get him back. He's had an ankle issue for probably the last half of the season. But when we found out he wasn't coming back, we were – I don't want to say we went in panic mode, but we were looking. We had to find something else. We had to find another way to score because he was our one-play touchdown guy. And but the defense they were playing kind of allowed us an opportunity to get that one-play touchdown. And Ryan and Joe Cole got one in the third quarter. And then when they went to a high safety, that took one guy out of there that we didn't have to block. And this kid to my left was he was starting to find holes, and we started knocking people off the ball. So it was. We kind of got us back in the game.
Ryan, how much trouble did you think you were in at 19-0 down, and now you're down your best receiver?
I mean, I have confidence in all of our players, so as long as we went out there and we continued to fight and our whole team put in the same amount of effort, I thought we would be fine.
And what was your level of concern, Davon?
I wasn't sure, honestly. I just knew that we had to find a way, and we did that, so.
Speed, size, what other problems did Milford Mill present?
Well, their return game. Number 6 is probably the best return guy in the state of Maryland, in my opinion. So, kicking off, scoring a touchdown was great, but the other side of the coin, we had to kick to number 6, and that was scary. When we punted, we literally tried to punt the ball out of bounds. We did not want him to touch it. We did not want him to return it. I thought our punter, Brandon Champagne, did exactly what we asked him to do. Our kicker, Bennett Formulac, did a great job also keeping the ball out of his hands. So they put a lot of pressure on you in the special teams return game, as well as offensively. They're got a couple guys that can score in one play.
Did you still think you were going to win, Ryan, at 19-0 down, in given what you were facing?
Yeah, I thought we were going to win still because we came too far to blow it at that point. It was our last 40 minutes of the season, and we had to finish.
You were misfiring early with some of your passes, but right near the end of that first half, you dropped back, you hit it out, I think, to Billy Higgins, and he was able to turn it upfield, and that really got you going. What did that pass do for you guys?
It gave our whole team confidence. We started getting a big chunk of yards on one play, and then that kind of confused them a little bit, I guess, because our running game started to click too that same drive, and we just started rolling.
It was almost like a switch flipped on that drive. After you guys hit that pass, it's almost like you guys were an entirely new team. Is that what it felt like, Davon?
Yeah, it did.
It did? And then you drive down. I think you hit one to Flowers too. Drew hit a pass to Flowers, and then you score on a 6-yard run. It was straight up the middle. It looked like you were determined not to be stopped on that run. Tell us about that run, Davon.
That play it gave us a lot of confidence. It made us think that we really do a shot win this game. So when we come back out, we're just gonna have to fight.
The touchdown, Coach, was near the end of the first half. How did that change the dynamic of the game?
It was huge. It gave these guys some confidence because we were close. We missed a couple over the middle of the field early on based on the defense they were playing. So the fact that we did run the ball, we did pound it a little bit and got Davon loose. Ryan hit a couple passes to Matt Schiller and Drew Flower, who, in my opinion, is our most improved player. Maybe in the county. He just, I think he had 30 catches, 400-some yards. Just did a great job making play after play in this game, in the regional championship game. So we were getting some performance from some other guys without Joey. So going down end and a half, 19-7, we literally, you tell me, guys, I think I said, look, we're going to get a stop, and then we're going to score again. We thought we were going to keep taking our shots, and if it was 19-14, it was anybody's game. And that's what happened.
Our photographer Bill Green was curious what you said at halftime to sort of spark your guys too.
Just hey, time is now. What I like about the Thursday nights, the Friday nights at 7. There's no retakes. There's no test corrections the next day. This is what we get. We get one shot. You got 24 minutes. We need to get stops on defense, and we did. And Joe Kolick, I think, had 3 tackles for a loss in the third quarter. Brandon Champagne had a sack. We had a couple other guys step up. Joey Bromley, Nick Pauly did a great job. Nick Albano, and so getting the stops that we needed. Our guys got a little confidence on defense. Then we hit the long play with Joe Kolick. Then it was like they couldn't stop us with the third touchdown. It was just, I think we were backed up in first and 25 or something, and he hit a 20-yard run, and Pat Conboy was doing a great job blocking, pulling for us, and we run our little power game week. So then it was 21-19.
Right. The second half starts. I think you each stopped each other on fourth down. Yes. I think you stopped them twice on fourth down, as a matter of fact.
We played great situational defense on fourth down in the second half. Got off the field, got our offense on the field, and they did real well.
And then you had another scoring drive. You hit him really fast. 3 plays. Ryan, all of a sudden, Joe Kolick is behind the defense. Tell us what you saw on that touchdown pass.
Well, I saw the defender fall, and then I just told Joe, run to the open spot. And I think me and Joe have a pretty good connection. We understand what each player is trying to do on each play. And as soon as the defender fell, I just gave him a little finger, pointed across the middle, and he understood what I meant, and he was wide open.
Is there some trepidation in throwing that pass, though, because he's so wide open that you don't want to miss him?
Not at that point, because I felt relaxed. I felt confident, and I knew that we needed it, so it was like practice. Same thing as we do every day, Monday through Thursday. Just hit them.
And now the score is 19-14, and what are you guys thinking at that point?
This is our game to lose. I mean, the scoreboard isn't in our favor right now, but there's nothing they're going to do that can stop us now.
Another defensive stop. You guys get the ball back, and then it seems like you found something running on the left side with Davon. Who are the guys that are blocking up front for you, Coach?
Over there we have sophomore Dustin Keith, who's going to be a great player, and we have Cody Redden, he's a senior, 2-year starter for us. He's probably our biggest lineman. They were doing a great job kicking down. Jake Booth is our quarterback on the line of scrimmage. He makes all the calls. Patrick Conboy was a right guard. He was the one pulling through and getting up in the field, upfield to block the linebacker. And Matt Beakey cuts everybody off so nobody can penetrate away from the play. And Joe Kolick is releasing, covering, and he's getting downfield to block the strong safety, free safety. And then Joey Bruscia, another sophomore fullback, was kicking people out, and this guy was finding space and making great reads. So it was just we felt like, and the guy, the brains behind the whole operation is our offensive coordinator, Chris O'Connor. He is one of if he's not the best coach in Maryland, he's one of the top coaches in Maryland. And the fact that he orchestrated that whole thing, and he felt like they were overcompensating to our strong side, so we were going to run where they weren't. Just had a great play call the whole night. I mean, really, and we got in the end zone.
So in other words, you were running to where they had less bodies.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We were counting people and trying to figure out what was where we had an advantage.
Davon, what were you seeing on those runs? What was working on that left side for you?
Things just started to click. Our line just kept pounding, and so we just took advantage of that.
What was it? The same play you guys were running basically over and over again,
yeah,
more or less,
basically.
until they stop it, right?
Yeah.
So, did you feel they couldn't? I mean, they couldn't stop you, right?
Stop it, so
right.
We just kept going with it, and it was working.
And then you scored, of course, on a run to the left. I think it was a 15 or 16-yard touchdown run. You guys were in front. What was it like to score that touchdown? And what are you thinking in that moment?
This was our ball game. We knew we were going to win it after that.
So the fourth quarter starts, and we do need to take a break. So, Graham, is this a good place for our commercial? And then we'll get to the dramatic final quarter of the game. Linganore and Milford Mill for the State 3A title. We will be right back here on the Final Score podcast.
Why do I train?
Why do I train?
I train to jump higher.
I train because I have something to prove.
Be faster.
And because speed, strength, and being better overall on and off the field is my mission.
Nothing to me is impossible.
I'm Andrew Simpson from Players Fitness and Performance in Frederick, Maryland. We have found that most middle and high school athletes do not have complete confidence, which is holding them back from being their best on and off the field. As official partners with FCPS, our why is to inspire athletes like yours to believe in themselves and perform more confidently and consistently in sports and in life. That's our why. What's your why? For more information, check out our website at www.playersfitnessandperformance.com.
Back here on the Final Score podcast with the state champion Linganore football team, quarterback Ryan Leyh, Coach Rick Connor, running back Davon Butler. So you guys are up 22-19. The fourth quarter is underway, and you get the ball back. And it looks like, hey, we want to take some time off the clock. You try and do that, but then Davon, I think you're stuffed on a fourth down run, and then Milford Mill gets the ball back. And then, I mean, Milford Mill, being the great team they are, they haven't played well for two quarters, but then they hit you with a drive. I think it was a 6-play drive. Just talk about that drive, Coach, and what might have happened there.
They did a great job of getting their guy out in space with a kind of like a zone play of swing pass. I didn't do a great job communicating to our defense what we needed to get. And really at this time we had changed a couple guys in there, and I just
I think Nick Albano had left the game.
Joey wasn't playing.
Your defensive back, right? Jake Zudall, I think, had left the game again. A defensive lineman.
He rolled his knee or ankle. He's okay though. So we just didn't do as good a job as we would have liked to have done coaching the kids, and they exploited it. They went down and they played for the first while with a sense of urgency since the first quarter, and they're a really good football team, and so we just didn't execute the way we needed to execute, and so it went their way, and we're down again.
Yeah, right. Devin Shell scores again, and Milford Mill, all of a sudden, with 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go in this game, is up 27-22. What were you thinking at that point, Ryan?
We had plenty of time to go down and score again and win this game.
And where was the confidence meter? Was it still very high that you were going to win, or had it dipped a little bit?
It was still very high. We knew that what we were doing was working. We just had to keep rolling with that. And there's still enough time for us. And
where was your confidence meter, Davon, at that point, down 5 points?
I had confidence that we were going to still win the game. Even though time was running out, we knew that we were just going to have to grind out those long possessions and just keep fighting through it. So,
did you think you would be the one that would get most of the carries on the game-winning drive there?
Honestly, I didn't.
Right.
I didn't expect to be getting the ball at that time. I thought we were going to try and pass the ball to get it in there, but.
So you guys get the ball back. There's 3 minutes and 57 seconds left in this game. Coach, this was a drive for the ages. Why don't you say what were you thinking as this drive began?
I was thinking we got one shot. We got one possession, and we've got to sell out. We've got to execute. We can't afford any mistakes, and they got to be perfect on their last drive of the season. And daggone it if they weren't. They were right on. They had 2 monster fourth down situations that they had to convert, which didn't,
Well, hang on, you're jumping ahead, Coach. Okay. We'll take it play by play. Ryan, stepping into the huddle for that final drive, what were you thinking?
I just told everybody relax. This is our last drive of the season. This is almost picture perfect. It's in our hands. Everything that we have worked for all season is right there. Like I said earlier, it's right there. We just got to go grab it.
The drive started poorly for you. I think, Davon, you were stopped on first down. And then, Ryan, you had an incompletion. And then I believe, Ryan, you were dropped on a short run there. So all of a sudden, it's 4th and 10 from your own 32-yard line. What's going through your head?
This is the season right here. Sell out, give it everything you got, because this could be, the last offensive snap of the year.
Coach, how are things on the sideline at 4th and 10 from your own 32?
Well, it wasn't exactly what we wanted, but we had one more down. We were going to take our shot. I think, like I said, I never sensed any panic among our coaches. We just kept coaching football, coaching the situation. I thought Ryan, that's going to be a play that lives for a long time in Linganore history as a football program, and people are going to talk about. Remember that 4th and 10, and so it's always going to make us realize we got a shot. And he dropped back. We had a pass play call.
There was no one open though.
There was nobody open. He's looking for. I think he's looking for Joe or Davon was in a curl route.
Yeah.
And you know, this kid has come so far. I mean, I get goosebumps just telling you about him because he's progressed. He's become such a better critical thinker in the pocket. His pocket presence, all the things that you want, and you can only get him through playing the game and experience. You can go to all the clinics you want, all the practice sessions, but he's been in the fire. You know, those 2 games we talked about earlier started to pay dividends on that Thursday night. So he dropped back, nothing was there, and you know, Ryan's 210 pounds, 6'5". And when he gets that stride going, he's fast, and so he's a good runner. And he got 10.5 yards, and it was just, you know, it gave us 4 more downs, and you know, it was great because these kids have worked so hard for so long, and to execute under that situation was really just awesome on their part because. You know, we work hard coaching, we work hard scheming plays and all that. But in the end, you know, he's under center, he's getting the ball, they're blocking, and those kids really came through for us.
All right, Ryan, it's 4th and 10 from deep in your own end. You're dropping back, no one's open. What's going through your head in that moment?
Make a play for the team, keep it going, keep the drive going.
And when did you decide to pull the ball down, and how did that thought process go?
Well, we were trying to hit Davon in a little wheel pattern, and the linebacker kind of flew over top of him, and it opened up a seam, and then the defensive end rushed real hard outside, and that opened up a lane.
Did you know where the marker was, or were you just running to try and get as far as you can go?
At the time, I'm not going to lie, I was just trying to get as far as I could go, and if it was 15 yards, it would have been 15 yards, and if it was 10.5, it was 10.5, and I was just going as far as I could.
So when you got tackled on the play, did you feel you had the first down? Did you know you had the first down, or were you not sure?
Honestly, I wasn't sure. I thought we'd get a little bit less of a generous spot, but I guess I was past the first down marker.
And what was your reaction when you realized you were past the first down marker?
No, this is definitely our game. This is definitely for us now.
Coach, deep breath on the sideline at that point after he gets his 10.5 yards?
I was right there. I knew we had the first down, and our guy in the booth was saying, "We got a first down. We got a first down. Let's go. What do you want? Let's run this clock. Let's utilize the time. You know, be very good at clock management in the 4th quarter, which we have been lately. Chris does a great job with that. Ryan does a great job with that. Our guys on the sideline, Jordan Dixon and Mike Rich, who help communicate the plays and do a great job with that. So I felt in that situation we were going to be okay. And we still had over 58 yards to go. We had a while, you know, we had a long way to go to take the lead. We couldn't kick a field goal. We have an outstanding field goal kicker in Ben Formulac. He's a junior as well. So we had to get in the end zone. So it's still a formidable task. And
after a couple of plays, I think a short run by Ryan and a short run by Davon, it's 4th down again. It's 4th and 1. And you call a running play. I think Ben Musselman took the carry.
Ben is a great. He somehow he just has these instincts, and he finds seams, and he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's very productive. And we put the ball in his belly and said we need 1.5 yards, and daggone, he got stopped, and he spun and continued to fight, and he got what we needed, and we got another first down.
It looked like he got snowed under. It looked right away, and it looks like you guys were going to be stopped short. How worried were you that you were going to be stopped short, and then your season was going to be over?
Well, that was a possibility. We knew that, but he kept fighting, and you know, call it second effort. I don't call it second effort. I call it continuous effort, and keep playing till the whistle blows. That's something we stress a great deal of. He kept his feet moving, which all great backs do, and Ben's going to be a great back in his time. His time's coming. He did a great job for us this year as a 10th grader playing up. So for him to get that first down was fitting, and kept the chains moving, and we got 4 more downs. You know, it's just one of those things that don't worry about now. Or don't worry about what's ahead of us. Just take care of what's now, and these kids did a great job.
Davon, Ben is your understudy, so to speak. How proud of him were you that he made that run?
I'm very proud of him that he made that run, and I think it was very nice for him. He stepped up when Zamari went down, so me and Zamari we both caused problems to other defenses. So, but Ben's also another problem. So.
And when they stopped Musselman, the drama wasn't over because they had to bring in the chains
first time all night.
to measure that first down. What was your confidence level, Coach, that that Ben had picked up the first down?
I was on the side. It was on our hash mark. I felt like we were ahead of the marker. So I was telling Chris, we're good. We're good. And Chris is up there. They were at a little different angle up high, and he goes, Coach, I don't know. I said, no, we're good. And daggone, he pulled the string tight, the chain tight, and
it was half a football, wasn't it?
It was about half a football. It's a game of inches.
Right.
You know, and they had their inches too. I think their second touchdown pass, it went through two of our guys, and so they executed, and then it was our turn.
What was the reaction, Ryan, when that chain shows you got had it by a half a football?
4 more downs.
Right.
We're still alive. Let's keep it going.
That's right.
Right. A couple plays later, you had a pass to Joe Kolick, who was running down the sideline. It was going to be a tough catch, but it looked like he almost made it. When the ball hit I mean, did you think Joe had it, number one? And when the ball hit the turf, how did you react?
Yeah, I did think Joe had the catch. I knew it was a tough catch, and I had confidence that he would be able to make that play. And when it hit the turf, it was time for the next down. Don't dwell on what happened in the past. Keep going. Get the next one.
Next play.
How many timeouts did you have at the time, Coach?
We had 2. We
Okay.
kept ours. We were in pretty good shape timeout wise, and as we were getting close, let's go back to Joe's play. Joe's been our guy. Joe has made so many big plays for us. He played more snaps in that game than anybody.
It would have been more impressive if he made the catch. I mean, that was a really tough ball to pull in.
And if anybody's going to come up with a catch like that, Joe Kolick can do it. So he, like I said, he played linebacker, he played tight end, wide out. He just, we gave him a shot, and if nothing else, it loosened him up. It made him, so I think they probably went to a high safety and got another guy out of the box, and so we got to run the ball.
Right, and you had the timeouts, which allowed you to keep pounding away with Davon.
Yeah.
Right, so that was the game plan, right? Like keep that running game going, keep Davon's powerful legs churning, right?
And when they started cheating against the run, well, let's go over top.
Right, but now the clock is really it's really dwindling down here.
It's getting close.
So did you think you had to pass there, maybe?
We be honest with you, we wanted to go out on offense. We did not want to give them a chance to play their kickoff return or on offense, and I think we scored on third down with so many seconds left. But we felt like we were managing the clock very well. Chris does a great job of that with his guys, and we were Dwayne Musselman helps a great deal too with point differential and clock management. So all our coaches have a role in that situation. So we felt confident that we were going to use the clock to the best of our advantage, and it worked out pretty well.
So there's way under a minute to go in the game. It's first and goal from the 9-yard line. Davon takes it. He picks up 3 yards. So second and goal from about the 4 or 5 yard line. He takes it again. He gets it down to like the 2. So it's third and goal, and you guys are. What's the huddle like, Ryan? What are you guys saying to each other in the huddle?
If we don't score here, we got 2 downs. 2 downs, punch it in. It's the last 15 or 14 seconds of the season. There's no point in worrying about being tired right now because we're 2 yards away from winning a state championship game, and we need to give everything we got.
And Davon, what are you thinking in the huddle at the time?
Let's just punch it in there. Let's just keep going and. Yeah.
And you guys got a break too, because I think a penalty by Milford Mill. It was offsides, wasn't it? You guys got on the. You did that a couple times. Was that just snap count, Ryan, or was that just luck that they happened to jump offsides?
Near the goal line, that was luck because it wasn't a hard count or anything. It was just the normal cadence on one. I made the normal call, and he just happened to move offsides.
So 17 seconds left in the game. It's first and goal from I think the 2 or 3 yard line. What's the call at that point, Coach?
We're giving it to Butler. Okay, there's no doubt about that, and we're going to go, and Chris is going to go left to right. Both sides of our line of scrimmage are really very even, and we feel confident going either way. So it's just going to be depending on what Chris sees. If they're overloading one side or the other, if he feels like we have a mismatch or we match up better on one side or the other, that's where we're going to go. And I think we went right behind.
You went right,
and
yeah.
Conboy and Kolick, which is a good choice. I'd run Joe's side too, to be honest with you. So he punched it in pretty. It wasn't even close.
Right, Davon. What were you thinking in the huddle right before that final carry there?
Let's just get it in there. Let's
right.
get in there. Let's win this game and go home and celebrate.
And what was your level of confidence that Davon was going to be able to push it in there, Ryan?
He's outstanding running back. I had all the confidence in the world.
You know, it's funny because we preach to Davon, just get 4 yards, get 4 yards. Davon is one of those guys. He wants to score every time he touches it, and sometimes that works against you. So, you know, he the second half of the season he has elevated his running technique, his skills have really blossomed, and it was great to see him just stick it in there, and his, you know, he's put together pretty good. So the 2 yards is not a large task for Davon. You know, he likes to go 80, but I think he was pretty happy with that 2 yard run.
So there's 14 seconds left. I mean, you have to guard against a kickoff return or a final play.
We won the score with no time on the clock. So, but I
you just wanted to score though, so it didn't really matter how much time was.
Oh yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
right.
Getting in we felt we were gonna. They weren't going to get in the end zone. We were going to be okay with what we had to do. We knew we had scouted them pretty well. They didn't have a real strong field goal game, so they had to score a touchdown to score points. We went to a prevent defense. We talked to our guys underneath coverage. You got to run to the ball if they go short and try to break one, which is what they did. Our guys, I think Joey Bromley ran to the ball. Brandon Champagne, you know, got there. We had Dalton Pearl and Josh Taylor. Those guys corralled number 6, and you know, we all know what happened after that.
When the clock expired, Ryan, what was the first thing that went through your head?
We did it. We finished our goal, and it was crazy. It was crazy.
Well, how about you, Davon? First thing that went through your head when not only when you scored, but when the clock hit 0.
It was just such a surreal moment. You know, just seeing my brothers and they just coming up to me and hugging me, telling me that they love me and all that. It was nice.
You really like this team, Coach,
yeah.
all season long. You said so on a number of occasions, but did you think it was state championship material?
You know, at the beginning of the year, we felt like we had a lot of the pieces of the puzzle that you need to be successful. We had 2 outstanding backs. We had a quarterback coming back that was a sophomore starter who had really worked hard. We felt good about our line of scrimmage. We played some 7-7. We felt good about the secondary. And then we had some injuries, and things changed a little bit. We had to move some people around. We lost Jackson Ambush during the Middletown game on the first play. We lost Luke Freeman on a Thursday before our first playoff game. He hadn't played since. So really there were some variables in there that we didn't anticipate. But so it got a little bit scary, to be honest with you. But again, it was just, you know, get the next guy in and keep practicing, keep working hard, and see where that's going to take us. And what a great lesson! What a great way to live your life. You know, go show up every day, do the best you can, and let's try to be a little bit better tomorrow.
You guys closed the season with eight straight wins. Yeah. So, and I wanted to ask you about the Middletown game. You mentioned that. You won that game 29-26 on the road. I mean, that game could have gone either way. The third quarter, you guys were pinned in your whole end, the whole quarter basically, and your defense held them the 4 field goals to keep you in the game. What did that Middletown game do for you guys?
Well, that third quarter was a rough 12 minutes, to be honest with you. But in the end, when we got back and got a chance to evaluate it, you know, we gave up 3 points 4 times. We didn't give up any touchdowns, and they were in red zone territory. So I think that's kind of like the mentality of our team, especially defensively. We bent, but when we had to play and make a play, you know, Nick Albano made one, Nick Pauly made one, Joey Bromley made one, Michael Bromley made one. It was one of those guys. Jake Zudall made a play. Brandon Champagne got a sack. So it was a different guy stepping up all the time. So when we got the injuries, it was just another guy getting in there and having an opportunity to step up and play well for us. But the Middletown game kind of catapulted us and gave us some momentum. You know, we played a really good Tuscarora team the next week. We played Urbana. We probably played maybe one of our better games all around season. And then you get in the playoffs, and I always tell everybody that the first one's the hardest one to win. We were down in the third quarter to Blake.
Right.
And to come back and pull that thing out was a great confidence booster for us. We went up and played Westminster and played really well. We really did. Westminster played well. And the game was probably closer than we wanted it to be, but it worked out. We made a big play in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go. We got a turnover, and ran the ball out to win the game. So and then we played Oxon Hill, which was one of our best games all year. We really were great, and we hung in there on Thursday night and got what we wanted to get at the beginning of the year. we finished.
Ryan, you guys celebrated that Middletown win like it was a state championship game. Why?
It gave us a lot of confidence. You know, that's another great football team. It's up there with Oakdale and Walkersville. And to be able to go up to their place and to beat them, it gave our team a lot of confidence that, you know, our season was never really over. We just had to keep fighting. We had to work harder than we have before. And, you know, the confidence level was really boosted after that game.
And I think you played one of your best games to date up until that point. I think you had 3 touchdown passes in that game. You and Joey were really in sync in that game, had some long touchdown passes. Just what did that game do for your just personal confidence?
That game gave me a lot of confidence as well. You know, all of our receivers stepped up that game. You know, we were playing almost without a running back. A couple of our running backs were dinged up. And, you know, the receivers stepping up really gave me a lot of confidence. And I guess the rest is history from there.
Right. Coach, would you say that the defining characteristic of your team this season was it's just refusal to quit? I mean, you had tons of injuries. You're down 19-0 in the state final. Just when things looked their worst, you guys found a way to play your best football.
When we played with a sense of urgency, we were really good. And we as coaches, we probably got to do a better job of getting that.
Yeah, don't fall behind 19-0 in the state championship
when it's
game.
0-0 instead of 19-0. But it, you know, with this group of kids, this team, you know, as much as they learn football, learn, you know, all the things we want them to get out of playing a sport and athletics at the high school level, they learned how to win. That's a great skill, learn how to win, and I attribute that to our senior class. They win in the classroom and they won on the football field. So it's their leadership. We're gonna, yeah, this is one of my favorite teams. I really had a blast coaching these kids. You know, we're all kind of lost this week because we don't know what to do after school. You know, we got to, and for me, my goal, I love this game. I love coaching it. I love being a Linganore High School, and to have an opportunity to do it for 14 weeks is awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I know anyone that loves practice more than you do.
I do love practice. I love Monday through Thursday. I do.
How did practice change when you guys had your backs against the wall?
I think like I said, there was a sense of urgency. I be honest with you, we limited reps for some kids. We did something the week after Oakdale where some kids didn't get an opportunity to play in those last 2 games because the competition, the way the game was, and we let them battle each other. So it was fun to get a chance to coach them in a game situation. We went offense against defense. But again, we at some point in each season, you turn it over to the kids. And you say, look, we're going to go where you want to go. We can't be the guys that want this more than you. You got to want it. And we turned it over to them, and they responded. And kids started policing kids. Kids started getting on each other when they were either mentally weren't focused or effort wasn't there. And we didn't have to do that. We got to just coach, which is a lot of fun. And we don't have to coach effort. So they responded. It was and you know we each game we took another step towards being you know, reaching our potential and playing better, and they did that, and it was a blast, like I said.
Davon, why did you guys refuse to quit when times were tough?
Because we knew we had to do it for each other. We had to do it for our great fans and everyone that comes to watch us every Friday night, and so we just want to put on a good show for them and just keep going.
When I asked you to describe the team, you described the team as a bunch of grinders. Why did you use that term, grinders?
Because that's what we do. We all just grind. We never stop. In the classroom, on the field, that's just what we do.
What about that weight room?
Especially in the weight room.
Yeah, the weight room,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. When you see Coach working out, doesn't that get you guys juiced up too?
Yeah,
so
a little bit.
Yeah, Ryan, when things looked bad, when your backs were against the wall, why did you guys find a way to play your best football?
We knew that next person had to step up. So, you know, in practice we had to change the intensity a little bit. We had to start going harder every day. Because once it's playoffs, you got one game. You know, if you don't play the way you're supposed to play, you're done. Your season's over.
Right. And were you going to say something, Coach?
Yeah, you know, for me personally, I think the way we design practice and put these kids in situations that are very challenging, that they'll have their back against the wall, it doesn't look good, they're at a disadvantage, they have to respond to some type of adversity, and to create that Monday through Thursday, you know, particularly on Monday, we like to correct what we messed up on Friday. Tuesday, we like to make sure we got all our stuff in and that it's working. They understand new schemes, new looks. And then Wednesday, we like to put them in negative positions where we'll call a defense, but the offense will also call the perfect play against that defense that can hurt us the worst. And they get a chance to play in those situations on Wednesday, as opposed to Friday being the first time they're in those situations. Whether it's a perfect blitz against Ryan, and he's got to check down or get rid of the ball or take off and run. We might rush 12 guys against our punt team, which we know they're not going to have to see 12 guys on Friday night, but just put them in situations where they're really aren't favorable for them, and have them respond to that, and hopefully that prepares them for if they encounter that situation on a game night, that they're going to respond well. And I think the proof's in the pudding. I think they did a great job of responding when they needed to.
Now, during the post-game celebration, we noticed that you had a little cut under your eye. You were bleeding in the post-game celebration. You'll see it there coming up. How did this happen, and why were you bleeding during the post-game celebration?
One of my guys, Joe Cully, came up, and he wanted to make sure I knew that he was thankful that everything we've done for him. And,
getting your eye dabbed there. So.
And that he was grateful that he had an opportunity, and wanted to say thanks for everything we've done, our staff has done for him. And again, like I said, it was such a team effort, but we asked more than we should have of Joe Kolick. I mean, offensively, defensively. When we lost Luke Freeman in the first round of playoffs, we played with 3 defensive ends and 1 linebacker, which is probably, it's just what we had to do on a Thursday. We didn't have a lot of chances to rearrange and get another guy ready. So when we went the next Monday, we moved 2 kids around, and Joe comes to me about 45 minutes in practice, says, "Coach, I can learn this in 1 hour. So let's not move 2 guys around. I can do this." I said, "You know what, Joe, you're right. You can do this." So he went from defensive end to linebacker. So we kept our 2 DNs where they needed to be that we've been playing. He still played every play on offense, and it was just he's a special player.
Yeah, in terms of Joe, one of your unsung heroes.
Absolutely.
It's not just his pass catching; it's his blocking as a receiver too, right?
His blocking and receiver, and I think he had 3 tackles for a loss on defense. He did not leave the field on offense or defense, and and I don't think anybody else can say that.
So was that cut on was that your battle wound?
Joe had his helmet on. I didn't have mine.
So that was your battle wound from the state championship game. Now, your seniors, how many seniors did you have?
We have 19 seniors.
Okay, and you'll miss those guys for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
they were fun. They were fun. They were never a boring moment. Okay, and some we like to skip and we don't want to talk about, but for the most part, they were fun to coach, fun to be around. They had a great sense of humor. Like I said, they do. It's a special group of kids.
But on December 15th, you guys begin the process of doing what you just did. You want to get back to that state championship game.
We're gonna go right back in that weight room, and we gave them a couple weeks off, and we'll start copycatting what Davon said. We'll start grinding it out again. We're gonna be on grades academically. We're gonna keep an eye on our guys and see who's in. And I think the weight room and off-season training, really, if you train together and you get to know each other, the leadership roles start to form, the pecking order starts to form, the respect for each other, whether you're best friends or not. You don't have to be best friends, but you got to respect what each other guys doing in there, and the weight room's a great place to show that.
So Linganore is always good at football, but what type of team can we expect from the Lancers next season?
I think we're going to have a very similar outlook going into next season as we had this season, because we got a lot of pieces returning. In the end, we had 20 sophomores or freshmen up, so we got to coach those guys for 4 more weeks. Matt Schiller, as a sophomore, came up and played big for us at wideout. Grayson Ruck at defensive line. I think we have a lot of good young players coming up, and I like it's. And again, we don't think too much about the big picture. We just want to be sound and get our kids play the best we can week 1, and then we'll see what we can do week 2, 3, and let it build. And hopefully, we get to play 14 weeks.
What do you think life will be like, Ryan, as the defending state champions?
I think it'll be harder than it was going into this year. Higher expectations. Everybody expects us to be one of the best teams in Frederick County, so we have to work to live up to that name.
Davon, what's your take on next season and what life might be like as state champs?
Exactly what Ryan said. We're just gonna have to just see what we got.
And someone's saying the driver's ed class is being missed. Katie Wheeler on Facebook said that someone has skipped out of driver's ed. Is that you, Ryan? Or
Yeah, that's me.
I saw Coach Connor's big pickup pull into the parking lot. So he drove you guys over here, right?
Yep.
So Coach, the most special of all the state championships that you have had the chance to win? Or
they're all special. They all have their own little tweak to their own little hashtag. So, but this one, yes, absolutely it was so rewarding. My coaches put a great deal of time. They do a great job, and our hats off to those guys because they're really the guys that grind it out for us. I just get to cheer everybody on. And like I told you, I knew these guys were champions. I did, and it's great that now everybody else knows they're champions. So it affirms everything we've been doing. It really does. So we're looking to have another good offseason. I like going in the weight room. I like lifting weights with these kids and seeing them get in there and change their bodies and succeed and be successful. And we like to think that there's a step-by-step process for everyone to be successful if you're willing to put the time in and the commitment and dedication, and hopefully that's something they're taking with them. So when they leave here and they get their first job or they're as adults, they understand that being on time is important, doing your best is important, and if it's not what the boss wants, well, tomorrow make it what the boss wants. So it's the next day, the next snap, the next possession, like Ryan alluded to already.
Right, and now we transition into basketball season, and never wanted to take a day off. You are working with the Linganore girls,
absolutely, yes.
As Rachel Easterday's assistant. Tell us about the Lancers girls basketball team before we go here.
I absolutely I love working with our girls program. I love being Rachel's assistant coach. She does a great job. We have a good team coming back. We were really good last year. We had Jessica Mitchell, Fiona Rowan, Kaylin Bartholow, Olivia Wynell. We have a lot of good players coming back. They got time last year. Kara Probion. So we're looking forward to getting better each week. And I missed a lot of basketball the first couple of weeks. So I'm still catching up and seeing what's what. But she's done a great job getting them ready. So it's fun to, like I said, I'm a gym rat. I like going in the gym. I like being in the weight room. I like being on the football field. So I'm very comfortable.
And the Linganore wrestling team could have used some of your football players against Urbana last night, and they're looking forward to get some of their guys up to speed. And, so
they're getting a great group of kids. Our wrestling team last night is not indicative of the season they're going to have. Trust me.
Right. Ben Arneson is a good coach, and Clay's up at Shippensburg still, right?
So I'm going to take my little trek up to Shippensburg and watch him play basketball with his teammates. He's a senior. I love going up there and just sitting there being a dad and just watching the games and taking them out to dinner afterwards. It's really that's one of my favorite things.
What's in store for you this offseason, Ryan?
A lot of work for next season.
You better say weight room.
Yeah, weight room. Being in the weight room every day after school, and just getting ready for next season.
And Davon, you're going to be in the weight room, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So what else is in store for you this offseason?
I'm going to really try and get in shape this season. I'm going to really try and be in really good shape so I can come back harder next year. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm glad we got a chance to do this and talk about your state championship. So thanks for coming in and congratulations on all your success. And hey, we could maybe do it again next year.
Oh, I'm in favor of that. Thanks for having us. This has been awesome, Graham. Thanks for doing your thing. And I just want to say one more thing. Our community, the people that came out and watched us play on Thursday, and I saw guys like Chet Mitchell and guys who played in the 80s, late 80s and 90s with their Letterman's jacket and supporting us. We had a great fan base. Our student section is as good as it gets out there. I think they're the best in the state of Maryland as well. So it was just so much. It just added to the fun and the enjoyment of and the satisfaction of coming out and winning 28-27, a close game like that. But it truly has been a team effort on a lot of fronts.
They're not still giving you standing ovations in the gym, are they?
No,
okay.
They're done with me.
Just checking. So. Before we go, we have to thank a few people. Thanks to Chris Sands and Graham Cullen, especially for putting all of these wonderful highlight clips and just the whole podcast together. audio of the podcast will be available, and you can find it like you normally do when you're trying to download the Final Score podcast. FNPpodcast.com, Google Play, iTunes, all podcast apps. Audio of this podcast will be available. And thanks, of course, to our sponsor, Players Fitness Performance, PFP, here in Frederick. Thanks very much for making this possible, and we hope to do it again, guys. So until next week, I'm Greg Swatek of the Frederick News Post Sports Department, and we'll see you next time on the Final Score.